Oh boy, it's been a while, hasn't it? Well, we're back. We're back in the studio. Welcome back to the OTR podcast in studio. You had a few on the road. One you actually didn't get to see because we completely erased it off of our SD cards,
Good job.
which sucks, but it was the coolest one I think we've done. We were sitting on a beach, no studio, just right by the ocean. You guys missed a lot on that one, so I apologize, Van. I am going back down in July to do that podcast with him. So gives me another reason to come back down to Florida, right? So we're going to do that. And, you get to see our guests a little early because I clicked the button. But we do have two special guests with us today. But before we do get started, make sure you guys are sharing this out. It's on Instagram, otr.pod. You can watch it on Facebook. You can't watch it on Facebook. You can find the link on Facebook. You can listen on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts. Anywhere you find podcasts, there's more places than that you can find it. But YouTube's the main one. That's where you can look at all of us and see our interactions and more than just our voices. You get to see the studio. You get to do all that kind of stuff. But with me today, as I always do, I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves, who they are, what they do, and why they are here. They don't have to say why you're here. You might have ulterior motives. I have no idea. But I'll let you guys go ahead, and then, just make sure you speak right up into that mic pretty well.
Okay. I'm Marc Fitzgerald. I'm the owner, pitmaster of Big Fitz BBQ, located in Canton, but we do a lot of work here in Cambridge. This is my marketing advisor, Justin Wagner. Brought him in just to help me a little bit because I lack in the marketing department.
Right. No, that is completely fine. And that's why we have them, right? That's why we have marketing guys.
Yeah, you definitely can't be a one-man show all the time.
No, well, don't tell me that because I've been doing as much as I can. I have guys. So the work side, I definitely understand that. You can't do it all yourself.
Oh, yeah.
That's where, yeah.
2 kids, wife, and I coach football, work, and
well, see, that's where we differ. That's
yeah. So,
I'm pretty open. No girlfriend, no kids, no house, nothing. I eat and breathe this studio. This is my life. So
yeah, I seen your bed in the back. So.
Yeah, well, actually, it's just that couch right behind you. That suspiciously black leather couch.
Bachelor couch.
Yeah, but we will get into it. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and tell us a little bit about Big Fitz BBQ and what you guys got going on.
Yeah, so I just started it in the middle of a pandemic. It's a little weird. I've been smoking barbecue for about 5 years now, and people's like, "Oh man, your stuff's good," and they started wanting to buy some sauces. And I looked at my wife, and we moved up to Canton last year from the Cambridge area because she's military. And I was like, you know what? I'm not working this much. I got some time now, and make a little bit of a side hobby out of it. And I mean, it's worked well. It'll be a year here in July. We're going to be doing some giveaways and some bigger stuff in July. We do like a monthly giveaway right now. We're actually promoting right now, like if you like, share, whatever on Facebook. We're going to give a 3-person tent and a couple lanterns. Memorial Day's coming up, summer's coming up. That way some parents can take their kids, family, whatever, go camping. I mean, I always enjoyed camping. It's a good way to get out, be on the grill, hopefully sell some more stuff. And
right.
I mean, that's all I'm just trying to do is just build my brand a little bit better. I thank Caleb for letting me be on here, and yeah. You got anything to add to Justin? Or?
We have some exciting giveaways possibly coming up as it gets closer to barbecue season, July 4th, stuff like that. Nothing quite ironed out just yet, but if you go ahead and follow us on Facebook, Big Fitz BBQ on Facebook, you can keep track of any kind of future giveaways, specials we have, new sauces, just general news on the business.
Yeah, and I know that you guys, my favorite part about Big Fitz BBQ is that they deliver.
Yeah,
that's been the most impressive thing to me. I can order ribs and have them delivered right to my studio door, and I'm like, this is great. I don't have to go anywhere and grab them, and I don't have to worry about who am I getting them. I know it's coming right to my door, and I know I can get it right then. And when did you start implementing the delivery?
I do these specials and stuff, and I mean, most of my customers are from the Cambridge area. And I mean, I do cater, and the catering's the same way. And I do like a 75-mile radius free delivery. Just be nice. small town. I understand small towns, and I just want to keep that small town feeling, especially the delivery. I always feel like when I lived out in Washington, no one ever delivered there, so it's just nice to bring that delivery out there.
Yeah, I get that, and that was kind of where we started too. Is I'd recognize there's a little bit of video presence in the area, but not enough. As far as that really nice commercial quality music. You've seen some of the stuff, but we just watched that music video over there. It's like there's not really anything like that around here, and obviously there's not a huge need for music videos in the area, but there is a need for video, and that's one we're trying to fill a little better. But I know where you're coming from as far as, we had Meadowbrook at first, but then we picked up Trail.
Yep.
And, I recognized they needed some help with this stuff.
Which that's huge during the pandemic, when fans couldn't go to games, you guys could broadcast for them, bring the game to them.
Yeah,
especially
I
football
definitely,
season.
I enjoyed it because, living in Canton, it was nice to watch the Trail games.
Oh,
right. Yeah, and our goal is to keep doing that, hopefully.
I really hope so. I mean, you do a great job with what you do.
Absolutely.
Just how I hope everyone thinks I do a great job with what I do. We do like specials. Like I think last month we did pulled pork, a whole shoulder for $25.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do some more of those. And ribs is always a big one most of the time. I try to get every couple months try to do that. But we are booking for events from now to whenever. We're pretty open. People just now starting to get back into things.
Okay.
Scheduling stuff. I do cater down to I drop the stuff off to you I'll set up and I'll even serve it to you and your guests and whatnot. Weddings, birthday party. No event's too big for me.
Yeah. You've got the infrastructure to take on pretty much anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And I noticed you have some sauces sitting there with you. I'm sure our guests have been kind of staring those down. And
I brought some sauces for you, Caleb, to try.
for me to try.
Yeah, I've already tried them all.
Okay.
I know how I thought they're good, but
they
want to see you. You're always on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's your turn.
Right. And if you're watching on YouTube, we might as well just do that and get it out of the way.
All right.
Because I've got a little bit of a stuffy nose, so maybe it'll clear my sinuses out a little bit.
I brought 2 sweeter ones, and then I brought the hot sauce.
Okay. All right. Let's try the sweet ones first. You just want to throw those over here. I'll try those out. But, I'm ready. Yeah, I got you. Oh, yeah. All right. And this is original barbecue.
That's original. It's just your basic. I call it Texas style with a little twist of the Kansas City.
I'm gonna load it up. Yeah, nice and sweet. Mm-hmm. It is it is Kansasy. Yeah. I like that. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, that one I put that on about anything. The pork.
Okay, and was that on the ribs?
Yes, that's exactly what I use on my ribs. This one's apple. It's an apple sauce based one.
Okay, I'm ready for the catch. Oh, I got it.
That one I like with pork.
Okay.
I came up with the idea of that one just eating you see apple stuffed pork chops all the time.
Yes.
I was like, man, I wonder if I can't make a apple barbecue.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's cinnamon in that too.
Yep, there's cinnamon. Mm-hmm. And it has a little sweet and sour.
It's got a lot of that like cooked apple, cinnamon apple flavor. That's good.
It's I use applesauce and I put some other stuff and other seasonings. And I Googled stuff and then I just made my own twist on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Google's definitely a wonderful thing. This one is my hot barbecue.
Okay. Oh, we got it. I actually didn't cut to my camera on that one, so you guys missed that one. That's good.
But this one's definitely more spicy. It has you might have to shake it a little bit.
I probably got it stuck on the.
Yeah, there's seeds and.
Oh, I can smell it.
Yeah, that has some habaneros, some other peppers in it.
I got a good amount on there.
I smoke it in a pan with a little bit of oil, and then I pull an extract out of it.
Yeah.
And then I put the extract and all that in there. And it's not for the faintest people, but
right. But
people always say you like hot stuff.
I do enjoy my hot stuff. So let's see how I do. We'll see. It's good. It's really good. Yeah. and it did help clear my sinuses out a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got just enough kick to it.
Yeah,
to be,
people always think like hot sauces or hot barbecue sauces, you gotta bring the punch, but I like to bring the flavor with the punch.
Right, and that was when we went down to Roanoke this past weekend with Adam. Actually, I got this sauce from this place called it's Mass General Store, and it's like there's 11 of them through Virginia.
Yeah.
They're like family owned, and I was like, "What's the hottest thing you got?" Because they were selling their hot. They're like this one, and so I bought it, took it back, ate it, and it was really good. I mean, usually when I get the real hot stuff, I've thrown a lot of them out there. They're hiding over there, but usually when I get them, it's just stupid, like, which is the whole point.
Well,
like,
yeah, it's the whole thing behind it.
that's the whole idea. But this one, it tasted good. It had a little bit of kick, but it just wasn't super, super hot. And that's where this stays, is it's got that kick that a normal person would think is hot.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, that's pretty,
Yeah,
but it's still really good.
I'm working on bringing a little bit more punch. Like you and me speaking off of this, me and my wife just got back from Connecticut last week. And one of my friends' dads gave me this hot sauce that has like truffle and heirloom tomatoes and Carolina Reapers in it. So I'm messing around with it right now.
Yeah, and that might be something, if you can get like a Carolina Reaper sauce or something, we'll put that on the hot seat for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll have it ready for football season.
Oh yeah. Well, the hot seat's going to be interesting this year, because I don't know. I mean, obviously we're going to do a lot of them, but we're picking up Strasburg.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're just taking over that heavy Steve.
I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
No problem with that.
Right. So we've got them signed already. Malvern signed already. Come on, Trail. We're waiting. Yeah. We get Trail signed, then we've got and I'm assuming, but if we do, that's by 3 IVC schools. I might not take anymore as far as highlights. Yeah. Well, I've got like I built this like layer on my like throat.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can power through it. But no, that's kind of the goal. I'd be like, if I could do IVC as far as highlights. Now the live stuff, we'll go anywhere, everywhere. Yeah. I don't care, but as far as the highlights go, would love to have Strasburg, Malvern, Buckeye Trail call it a day, because that gets us that gets us 3 or 4 games a year where they're playing each other, so we can have really, really high quality stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you already do high quality stuff. That's just raising the level up.
Right, but then we could do game days. We could bring some barbecue out to the. We could do a tailgate.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, it just depends on my schedule. I mean,
right.
You and me talked about this already, and I told you I'd be glad to do it. We got like 4 Saturday games, so Friday nights for 4 weeks. I got.
Right. Yeah, and so that's kind of the next few steps as far as football season, because we are doing well with football. Now it just comes down to what can we add to what we're already offering, and add value, but also make some money doing it. You don't.
Absolutely.
That's what I've learned too, is growing this. I've done a lot of stuff for free or a lot of stuff real cheap, and it stayed that way. And I'm like, why? Why would I?
That's kind of where I started out. I mean, these last May, so 10 months.
Yeah.
I've given a little bit more than I should have away, but that's just building
it's marketing.
That brand.
Yeah.
Marketing. I mean, it gets your thing out.
Right.
And gets your name out, and I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard many bad reviews.
Right.
So.
Well, and you're not going to hear a lot of good reviews. Like that's the thing that I've had to learn, is you're going to hear from the people that didn't like it, but if they liked it, you aren't going to hear from them.
Oh, yeah.
If they really liked it, you will. Yeah.
Yeah. My grandpa always told me the best marketing is the word of mouth.
Right.
So that's what I try to do, is put as much food in everybody's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And we picked up a little bit of speed here toward the end of the school year, graduation parties.
Yeah.
And I mean, people think it was foolish. I started a catering business in the middle of the pandemic when no one could see each other, but I said fuck it, and
right.
I'm sorry.
We're not bleeping it. It's in there.
And I looked at my wife and I said, you know what, fuck it, and I'm done with it. I'm done playing around with it. I'm just going to do it. And she's definitely been my backbone in all this. She's been supportive. I mean, there's been fights here and there about it, but for the most part, she's been supportive. And I still work my job as a firefighter EMT. And I coach football up in Akron. So, I mean, I still stay busy even when the business is slow.
Right. And our first question off of the business, how did you and your wife meet?
That's quite a tale.
Okay.
So,
I'm glad I asked.
So her oldest is
It's from TJ Maxx.
so her oldest and his biological father. She's from Connecticut and she's military. His biological father was in the Marines.
Okay.
And so they had a baby and they kind of just parted ways and we kind of started just talking and we started seeing each other and stuff. And now 7 years down the road, here we are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything happens for a reason.
Right. And
It's just kind of weird because it's an interesting story because me and Maverick's dad we used to be really good friends in high school, so people don't see it as a good thing, but you know what? Things happen.
Right.
People fall in and out of love all the time.
It happens a lot, yeah. And you see it all the time. And one of these days, I might have a pretty weird love story for you, but nothing yet because we're not even talking. But I'll mention it off the podcast.
Yeah, foundation's there.
It's very, very interesting.
Hey,
You'll be like, "Wow, really?" But no, can't do that yet because it might not even happen. We don't know. But
Yeah, absolutely.
But you'll get a kick out of it. And I know everyone's begging me to tell it now, but no, next time. But yeah, so back to the business side here. We'll rope it back in. So what all products or meats do you offer for sale?
I don't want to get my products wrong, so I'm looking on my site, bigfitzbbq.com.
Yeah, and nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. It's we're actually coach football. We'll get to that here in a second.
I like the KG.
Yeah, Kenmore Garfield.
Okay.
So we had the apple barbecue that Kale's tried. I have a beef dust, which is everyone calls like a salt, pepper, garlic. I put it on my brisket. I put it on burgers, steaks. It's like a beef. It brings out your beef a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Just all-purpose seasoning type of deal. I use it for. And then we also offer gift cards and stuff. We call them barbecue bucks. I have a Cajun Rub. Sorry, I'm starting to get a little hungry. Cajun Rub. It brings a little bit of Cajun, that southern spice to you. Then we have a garlic parmesan sauce, golden barbecue sauce, which is a spicy mustard. I wanted to bring it to you, but I wasn't going to the store real quick to get mustard. And I call it a medium heat. It don't bring everything, but it brings a little bit more.
Okay.
Than what you would think. And then honey barbecue is a little bit sweeter than that original, just a more sweeter flavor. The hot and sassy rub is kind of similar to my original rub that I call sweet and savory, which is similar to that sauce.
Okay.
The sauce is, when it comes to hot and the original sauce, it's pretty similar with the original rub and hot rub.
Yeah.
Just helps pair well. The hot barbecue have like your normal buffalo sauce, mild and hot buffalo sauce, just a little bit for everybody. The original rub, spicy garlic. The original sauce, which is, I call it sweet and sassy on the website.
Okay.
And then your traditional buffalo, which we already talked about.
Yeah. And then what is your website? So people, if they want to look at all this stuff.
It's Big Fitz, BIGFITZ barbecue, BBQ.com.
Okay.
And you go to it, and I got to maintenance it a little bit. It still has my giveaway from last month.
Right. And can they order on the site, or is it all through? Okay.
Yep, you
Cool.
can order on the site, pay with your credit card, pay your shipping and stuff.
Cool.
And it will come to me on my computer, and I'll have it shipped out within probably, takes about a week and a half, just because of the busy schedule I got.
Okay. And then as far as meats, do those rotate? Is that kind of how you do it, or do you have a pretty steady line of like ribs, wings?
I just, whatever people want me to cook. It's
Really?
how I tell people.
That's cool.
Ribs are definitely a big hit. Pulled pork, brisket. I do chicken wings, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can.
Oh yeah, pull up that menu.
Yeah, I have a menu. I just gotta find it.
Yeah, but no, that's good. I like the idea of if I want something and I need someone to make it.
Like I tell everybody, I can try to accommodate as best. It don't have to be barbecue. You want spaghetti? I'll make you spaghetti. I don't care.
Well, also for our catering, we don't just have. We have like sides that we offer too.
Right.
So like the smoked meats I have is the hand pulled pork. I pull it all by hand. There's no machines to it. Pulled chicken, which is just like basic chicken that you pull together. Then I do half whole chickens, so like just a half a chicken.
Okay.
It's like what you see the fire department sell on the street corner.
Yep.
Brisket, I could chop it, or I could slice it. And then I have boneless chicken breast and smoked chicken wings and ribs. And that's the meats I offer. Some are like $1 or $2 more a person when you're catering, just because they're more expensive stuff.
Right.
And then sides wise, I make green beans or baked beans, coleslaw. I can do skin on garlic mashed potatoes, skin on buttered parsley potatoes, applesauce. We make cornbread, pasta salad, potato salad, mac and cheese, deviled eggs, and cottage cheese. So that's just basic stuff.
Right.
It's what people want to see.
Yeah. Easy, simple. Keep it fresh. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what people
yeah.
wanted to see. And I mean, I just like to keep everything fresh and as simple as possible.
Exactly. And if you're watching or listening at home, I hope you have food in front of you
I'm sorry.
because you're probably getting really hungry.
Caleb's getting hungry over there.
I'm getting hungry, but I have all this. I can eat all this hot sauce.
You can eat it all.
I'll drink
you
it.
want.
I'll drink it while I'm sitting here. But no, and I know you briefly mentioned your firefighter EMT. Mm-hmm. So what got you into that field?
So my dad was a respiratory therapist here at Guernsey, and then he went to a couple other hospitals throughout his career. So I was always around that medical field. I tried tinkering with nursing school for a little bit, but I just wasn't smart enough, I guess. I don't know.
That's me too.
And so I joined Old Washington Fire Department. They helped me pay for my EMT school, and I got into it because my mom passed away 6 years ago, and just I seen the EMTs in and out helping her, and I just wanted to make a difference in my community, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess at that point I was depressed, and I wanted to find meaning in my life just to help someone else
Right.
on their darkest days. So here I am 6 years down the road, working at Old Washington part-time and Bethesda part-time.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, that's something I always stress to. We talk a lot with high school kids. We have these different, but I always tell them, like, find something you like to do and that serves a purpose. Like,
Absolutely.
right.
If
And
you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life.
right. And yeah, it is good. I mean, that's really good advice. And I'm finding that more true every day because,
me too.
even with what we do, for example, we mentioned briefly on the way over, like, music videos, I love cutting those up. Like it's running through my brain. I'm like, let's do this, let's do this. Then when it comes to the sports, love filming them, love taking photos of them, cannot stand editing them. So I have guys that'll do that.
That's the difference. I mean, I coach sports, obviously, and I was recently promoted to like special teams coordinator, Kemore,
Yeah.
and I'm not officially an offensive coordinator, but I'm the run game coordinator.
Okay.
So we're working on a new playbook and developing with the new offensive coordinators. And so, like, it's always in my head, braining stuff up. And I got notebooks in the car and on my desk. And my wife gets so mad because I'll be texting coordinator at like 10 and 11 o'clock at night. She's like, who you on the phone with, your boyfriend?
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, I'm on the phone with Doug, or I'm on the phone with Ray. And she's like, of course you are. I mean, that's the clean cut version of it, but
Right. And we'll dive into the football stuff.
You're good.
But before we get going, let's talk to you a little bit.
right.
So what do you handle as for Big Fitz BBQ?
Well, I'm the marketing administrator. Basically, any kind of promotions we have planned out, kind of spitball with him, see what he wants to do, what's going to be functional, what's not going to be functional. Trying to think of some fun ideas to get people in the door. If you just constantly have the same kind of giveaway, it gets a little stale. You want to keep things adapting, or written to be where people are out more, vaccines out there, people are going to be out doing more cookouts, Last month we gave away a fireplace last month, little fire pit.
Yeah.
Working
congrats
on
to Teresa Newhart on
yes,
that.
working on some good giveaways that will actually be functional, not little things like a water bottle, something
Right.
more functional, like a canopy you got, and got
Yeah.
a salt fork, for instance.
The stuff
have
that
your
gets it
family
shared.
over. Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
Precisely.
I mean, like I said, I came to a point where I knew I couldn't do it all by myself, so we've been friends forever, and I was like, hey man, I said, I know you do stuff with social media, so I said, can you come help me run my social media and help me with these giveaways, and because I get stumped easily with it.
Right. It's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
It's not easy, Phil. I mean, you have to know what you're doing. I mean, with him cooking, that's enough time to focus on.
I can just do
Right.
cooking, and that's one less thing I got to focus on my plate.
Literally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I've found too is, I mean, as someone who does a lot of, we don't even just do our own stuff. We do stuff for just 5 or 10 other businesses. And it's like, you could realistically always be doing something online.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you take that time to say, no, like, you've done enough today. I could be here all day, put this post up, make this. Oh, I need to run an ad, and all this stuff. And that's something I'm working on now, is trying to hone in. And I don't know, people might have noticed it from my social media, but I'm like, I've started not selling the business off, but selling stuff off that I don't use very much. Anything that's sitting around here, I'm like, does it have a use? Does it have like, for example, those golf clubs? I don't use those very often. And I wanted my Ethan, our other worker guy, I was like, you want those clubs? I'll sell them to you. I'm trying to build up our capital again, invest it, save it, so that we can do a lot more, not necessarily a lot more, but more focused work.
Yeah.
Because we've been so spread. I mean, we do everything. So I got to the point this year, this last few months even, where I was like, I've got to slow down, focus on what you're good at. Any of that stuff that, you can do, but is a hassle and you really don't make that much on it, throw it out. You don't need to do that, and so that's that's the stage we're at now, is kind of focus on what we're good at: photo, video, and some marketing, and that's about it. And the problem with me is I'll never say no, so someone will come in and say, do you still do this? Yeah, I do, but it's definitely not something I promote as much. So that's something I don't know have you guys ever had anything like, did you find yourself ever at a point where you're like, we have a lot of service, or we do a lot and we need to cut back, or we need to add? It might be the other direction. You might have thought, maybe what if we do this? What if we do that?
Yeah, that's kind of like how my website got going, honestly, because like I was just tired of going through Facebook messages and text messages trying to figure out orders.
Yeah.
So I built a website, and that way is one spot. I mean, I still get people text me. It's like, man, just go through the website because it's easier. Because when tax time came, I was like, man,
Yeah.
this is rough.
Yep.
Plus, as time goes on, we'll get the website a little
So
more integrated
that way I
and
can
build up.
see like all my invoices are here, and I mean right now I'm in the point where I'm getting myself more organized. I mean,
And what do you use for like your accounting software? Do you have it like
I use
QuickBooks?
Shopify.
Shopify? Is it all ran through Shopify?
Yep, everything's
Oh,
ran
yeah.
through Shopify.
Okay.
I pay like $40 a month for it.
That's cool then. Yeah. See, I've heard a lot of good things about Shopify.
And I use TurboTax. That's what I've
right.
used for years, and everything will upload from Shopify to TurboTax.
Yep. And see, we run it's called Wave, which it's not integrated into a site, but we do so much business to business stuff to be able to have that software where I can just send out invoices through email, it's really convenient. It's similar to QuickBooks, except it's all basically on the cloud. It's not like on the computer.
I looked into Waves. I looked into WordPress.
That's where our website's through is WordPress.
I looked into some other stuff, but I mean, obviously we run two different businesses, so
Right.
the Shopify was best for selling stuff online.
Yep. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
That way, and I bought the domain for Big Fitz BBQ. That way, I don't have the My Shopify after it. I tell you, just for 3 words, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, and the smaller your domain gets, the more expensive it gets.
Nope.
If you'll notice that too.
Oh, certainly, yes.
I'm just fine with the Big Fitz BBQ.
Yeah, I mean, so with this other company I work with, we tried to get the web domain gba.tv, and I didn't think about it, but that's Game Boy. It's Game Boy Advanced, and so they wanted like $20,000 for this, and I was like, we'll go with gbabasketball.tv. And but it's just the less letters you get in your domain names, the more you got to pay for. Like ours is $300 a year.
Just for OTR podcast with Westfall. He was talking how much it was with just like kgp.tv.
Right. Yeah, and that's just and luckily it's kind of like it's not really a acronym that means anything in the real world.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of leeway there. Now, if it was like FBI or then you'd run into some issues.
You never know, because there's so many small businesses that are going around. A lot of them have like acronyms. You don't know who has what, who doesn't have what.
I mean, there could be
I was just literally I want it short and simple.
Right.
And like, you can go to my Facebook page and you can just click right there. You don't have to look for it on the URL. Business cards, I have a little QR code you scan with your phone now with it, and
that's cool.
So yeah, that thing was pretty cool. I got some in my pocket, but yeah, those things are pretty cool. I built
The QR code stuff.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, see, that is convenient. I used to have a resume that had a QR code on it.
Yeah, and then I got everything in the back, and then
Yep, and they actually PayPal now. You can build a PayPal business account.
Yep.
And they'll give you a QR code to like hang in your store,
wow.
and then people can just scan it and pay you. And Venmo, I think, is doing it too. So that's probably our next thing. Is like I don't have my wallet on me, but I have like 3 debit cards. I have one for Venmo, one for PayPal.
I feel it. I got
all of them. Robinhood.
Debit, and I got a Venmo business one. Mm-hmm. Of course, I use Chase for my business.
Yep.
And
can't beat Chase.
Of course, I got
love
my
Chase.
personal accounts.
Right.
So like, I have this big wallet with all these cards, and people's like, "How many cards you got?" I was like, "Man, you don't understand. Sometimes running a business, it's nothing but cards."
Yeah, and something I've learned is I don't use the PayPal or the Venmo cards too much.
No, I don't.
Nice to have.
Yeah, they are nice to have because I mean, you need gas or
right.
Because most time I'll keep mine in a secret place. I'm not going to tell the world.
Yeah. Now the perk of Robinhood has a debit card too.
Yep.
But I have theirs. I'll use that actually more than normal because you can do free withdrawals from any ATM.
Huh.
So if I need
That's
like
handy.
cash, I use that card because I don't have to pay an ATM fee. And it's
exactly.
like right. So that's about the use I get out of that. But other than that, yeah, I mean it's Chase, my Chase cards.
That's why I use this Robinhood for my investing.
Yeah, and I've been investing for a long time, but I just really focused in on it. That's why I'm selling a lot of stuff. I'm like, you don't need all this stuff. You need.
That's what I've been investing for a few years, but
yeah.
I mean, I was reading about like the GameStop hype and all that,
Yeah.
and I read in the Dogecoin, and I was like, "Yep, I'm definitely." And I caught Dogecoin at a cent.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was still later than most people.
But you're doing good right now. Actually, as we speak, I think it's at 70.
Yeah,
almost.
It's definitely up there. But
I mean, with that announcement tomorrow, we're looking at that. That's why it's going up. Did you hear? Elon Musk he's going to be talking about it
on Saturday night. It's 72.5 right now.
Yeah.
And then I got some into the Hall of Fame resorts because they're doing so much with the Pro Football Hall of Fame up there by my house.
Oh yeah.
That's at $3 right now. So
right.
It's another long-term investment, just like Dogecoin. And then my buddy got me into SafeMoon, and
I've heard about that.
It's starting to skyrocket. It's been on the Wall Street Journal a few times this week.
Yeah, and see, now you got to do all this stuff to invest in SafeMoon, right?
Not as much anymore.
Really?
If you have a trust wallet.
Okay. See, I don't know too much. See, that's my other thing too. Is when I made a tweet about it earlier today, but in college I had invested in Dogecoin in 2017 or
So
20.
you're really doing good now.
No, and I'll tell you why. So, in 2017, I probably invested $50 to $100 into Dogecoin because it's funny. And the only reason I invested is because I was on Reddit all the time through college, and I was around like the first day they invented the coin. I remember that.
Yeah, people were freaking out because it had like the dog from the meat.
Yeah,
it was Dogecoin.
Yeah,
you know?
And so I was like, "Oh, that's funny. Like, let me throw some money in that." So, like, within the first week of its existence, I had some. And me being a college kid, no income really. I did work study.
Yeah.
So you make a few bucks.
Yeah.
I decided, I'm really hungry. I'd like some pizza.
Pizza's always.
And so I sold all my Dogecoin at 107. I made $100.
Hey, that's not bad.
At the time, you're like, yeah, like, great.
Oh yeah, 'cause, I mean, you have no idea, down the road.
You have
Treasury,
no
it's a
idea,
skyrocket.
right.
I mean,
at the cent, I think it's 1.2 cents. I invested like $50.
Right.
It. So it's nothing more than like a nice meal out.
Right.
That's how I do my investing. It's just
I'm working on being a better holder, because that's always been my problem.
That's my problem. I deleted Robinhood when it started dipping.
Yep.
I deleted Robinhood. That way I wouldn't even look at it because I was looking at every 15 minutes. Like, man.
That's all you can do. You get caught up in it, and that's what I would do. Is I just get and it's too distracting because what I ended up doing, I'm like, well, I started my business and all that. I'm like, I can't be investing. Like, my investment is my business, right? So most of my money went into this, and it's paid off. I mean,
That's
maybe not as much as Dogecoin.
That's how everything is with my business. Everything's paid off, and
right.
like I'm working on getting a bigger smoker. I eventually want to go into not just like catering, but maybe get like a food truck, like how Big Z and stuff like that is. And that's kind of part of my goals this year and the next couple years.
Yeah.
That way I can really start making the money, because catering, you make money, but like I said, it's pretty slow.
Right, especially right now. I mean, summer it'll pick up.
We're starting to get a little bit picked up again, but like the winter months is always slower. And just people's not doing as much. I mean, we had some around Christmas and New Year's and stuff, but
right. And then I think, I mean, once summer gets here, it's a little warmer out. Not as much of a pandemic, I guess. Yeah.
We'll certainly have more people doing things.
Right. That's the best way to put it is, especially around.
People are still being cautious, but they're not completely scared like they were.
Right. They're going to get with their friends. They're going to hang out with their friends. And,
I mean.
Yeah, go to sporting events, stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, what? You and me went to.
Two Indians games
back to back nights, years.
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago.
Right.
My wife's a big Yankees fan, and so we went and we watched the Indians and the Yankees.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what I found was when we were in Florida, no mask mandate. The only place you had to wear a mask was a casino, which whatever. But
it's crazy just from here to Canton.
Is it?
Yeah,
just
like
the difference.
Canton, they'll throw you out of the stores. You're not wearing a mask.
Yeah, well, the bigger cities like Columbia.
And then down here, like I can walk into Respects without a mask. I did the other day.
I mean that's not condoning.
But I'm not condoning nothing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, just saying.
I'm vaccinated.
You're vaccinated for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you could go in, and we went everywhere. You'd hang out, and it's weird coming back. Around here, it's not as noticeable, but coming back here, and you're like, I don't even know where my mask is.
Yeah, that's how it was when I went to Tennessee, because we like the Gatlinburg, and Gatlinburg got rid of all that. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, it's not as bad. And then come back up here, it's like, crap, where's my mask?
Right. And it's literally, I mean, down there, at the beginning, I would be walking around like, oh, I forgot my mask. And they're like, you don't need it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in Florida. Yeah, right. And then I get back up here, I'm like, where's my mask? I forgot I even owned one. Like, it's just a day and night, but granted, it's a very warm climate down there. I mean, that helps.
I think we're going to get a little bit normal again. I don't think the mask will ever leave us completely.
Ooh.
Unfortunately.
Right. I think it's become more of definitely a normal than it used to be.
People, they kind of like, I went to Respects, and there's people like,
I mean,
they
we'll
look at you
have people
like,
who give you silent glances.
Right.
They're just looking at you like, you're not wearing a mask.
Well, I don't even know if it'll necessarily, like, I think a lot of the kids today, I think they'll just wear them because they're used to it.
Yeah. Mike Maverick will wear a mask. Matthew won't. Mm-hmm. But the kids they have some sort of autism.
Okay.
Matthew's a little bit worse than what Maverick is. So Maverick's always freaking out. Where's my mask? And I was like, dude, you're under 10. He's like, I need my mask. And
right. And I think a lot of them use them as like style almost now.
Yeah,
because Maverick, he likes his Browns mask. The Browns organization donates masks to Canton City schools.
Okay.
Where they go. So he always loves wearing that because he's big into sports. I mean, he goes to practice with me, and he loves hockey.
Oh my God, he loves hockey.
He's a kid. He's 6 years old, and he'll talk your ear off about the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah. Oh, we used to go to some Blue Jackets games, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I haven't been to one in a while, but it was a good time. And now, segueing into sports, tell us a little bit about the football coaching. What got you started with this team?
With Kenmore, I mean, I helped out with Donnie, the trail, for a year. And I always liked getting into coaching. I always wanted to do it. And I was talking to my neighbor, up in Canton. He coaches at St. Vincent St. Mary. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're pretty good.
Who is that? I don't know.
Who's that one kid that came out of there?
I can't
remember.
think of his name.
LaMelo
Michael
Ball
Jordan?
or something like that.
Was it Michael Jordan?
Some claim he is.
I think.
But he put a good word in with Coach Boyd. He's the head coach at Kenmore Garfield. And we got on the phone, we just talking, and he's like, I got a volunteer coach job for you this year, and now I'm on the payroll this year, but we get into it, and I came 2 weeks before camp started. So just trying to get to know the kids and just trying to develop the charactership. And my thing with coaching is I'm keeping kids literally off the streets, because you don't know where it is, but Kenmore Garfield's it's rougher.
Okay.
The Kenmore area is in like the southwest corner of Akron. Mm-hmm. And it's actually the streets that like LeBron grew up.
Okay.
Before he went to Bookdale High School, or in the Bookdale system, which is right next to Kenmore. And before he went to St. V.
Okay.
So I mean, it's definitely rough. There's a lot of kids who don't have father figures. A lot of kids. I've had a couple kids actually shot this year.
Really?
Yeah, and just keeping those kids out of the gangs and off the streets. My ultimate goal, just to bring that father manly figure,
Right.
and just to make them better people.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. I mean, winning and losing, it don't matter as much to me. It's developing these young men into adult males.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think sports is definitely, I mean, that's a really good way to do that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, especially around here, you don't see it as much compared to somewhere like that up there.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, here, everybody seems to know everybody, and it was definitely a big cultural change for me,
right.
going from being in the country to big city school.
Yeah.
Because, like, the locker room there, going from Buckeye Trail to there, so it's like...
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Well, I mean, it's like he was telling me, for instance, he said it's different because he says up there, Canton City Schools, those teams around Akron, Canton will actually play where the Zips play in Precision Field for the championship. It's just a big step up. I mean,
yeah, that's pretty cool. We
big step up.
The city championship games normally Enso Cision Field, which is where the University Akron Zips play. The Cleveland Browns actually donated turf to the Akron public school system. Like, not all the high schools up there have fields.
Really?
Yeah,
And they'll kind of just play.
They have Bookdale. We have one, and then Ellett, which is the Browns Stadium. That's what I call it.
Okay.
But Bookdale and Kenmore, they don't got lights. I mean, it kind of looks like Belair. I don't know if you've ever been to Belair.
A little, yeah. I can
It's
kind of get an
similar
idea.
to Belair Stadium. It's just not as nice. I
Okay.
mean, but it's the funding up there. It's like,
Right. Right.
I mean, down here the funding for sports is astronomical.
yeah.
And there they got so much kids, they can't put a whole lot into funding for sports. They're putting it into education. I mean, LeBron does a great job with it. I mean,
Right.
that I Promise school he built in the Akron public system. I got kids on scholarships going to Akron this year because of
Really?
LeBron.
Okay.
He gives kids the I Promise kids.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of criteria. I don't know.
Right.
But I actually have an offensive lineman. He's going to be a preferred walk-on at Akron.
Yeah,
But
that'll be good.
He was offered scholarship, but he's an I Promise kid, so he's getting a full 4 years contract, or not contract, but 3 either
That was
way.
quick.
He's quick.
But either way, and I mean, he chose that over Clemson and LSU, and I mean, there's some other factors that went into that. He was a pretty decent athlete.
Yeah. No, and that's something I don't think a lot of people around here recognize either, is around here, you know, your kid plays a sport and you get upset when they don't play a little bit, or you know, this guy why is my kid not playing? Why this and that? It's like, if you go to other places, that doesn't matter. You know, it's like
Absolutely.
they're just happy to
There's
be.
days where I have kids, if they're not in school, like, because APS, which is Akron, they just went back to face a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And we's doing our lifting and our stuff, and there's kids coming. It's like, I haven't had a meal, and I mean, that hits me hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, we do good as coaching staff. We have a good thing with our food pantries. And when they do like the food giveaways, they bring the extras to us, and we have a food pantry for the kids so they can eat at our field house, and we let them take food home and stuff like that, and we feed them good. Like one of our coaches brought ham and cheese sandwiches, put it in our fridge, and I bought like 5 cases of water from Sam's Club and took it up. That way they can.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to see that. I mean, because down here, you hear of it.
Right.
But you don't experience it, and then you actually get down there. It's like, man.
Yep. And
Well, then up there, I mean, also it's just, I mean, there's down here you see a kid. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And up there, it's like you may not see that kid the following day.
Right.
That's just life. That's sad.
We had a kid. He got in a tough situation. He ended up getting charged with armed robbery, and he did his time. And yesterday's his first day back at school, and it was so exciting to see him.
Yeah.
And then a couple hours later, like 3 hours in school, he about died because of a drive-by shooting. So it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean the difference of culture just up the road. I mean, you can. Some people think of it like, oh, we got it good in America, but then you go to these different countries and it's bad. It's like, but yes, it's very true.
It's here too.
But it's also
it's
here.
Just an hour and a half up the I-77.
Mm-hmm. And it puts it into perspective. If you are a high school athlete listening or a high school parent listening, like, yeah, if the worst thing you have to worry about is, well, I hope coach plays me more today.
Yeah.
You're good. You got it real good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that was my biggest thing back in high school. Was like, man, that was my biggest worry. Is like, I want a lot of playing time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just going through the other side now is like, yeah, I probably could have did a lot more.
Right. No, same here.
I could have did a lot more, and just knowing the stuff I did, I would be yelling at my 16-year-old self and like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you need to grow the fuck up and just listen.
Yeah, no, and I would always be upset about some playing time here and there, but then I'm like, looking back now, I'm like, you didn't really.
I was like, yeah, you didn't deserve the playing time, now did you?
Right, right.
And, I mean, Bill Starr, may he rest in peace, you probably heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie, and he helped me achieve my high school diploma. I hurt my leg and my shoulder playing football my senior year, and I was at risk to graduate. And there's some nights where I was a month, and then it was like 4 or 5 weeks before graduation. I was 3 months behind in school. And he took it on upon himself to make me graduate, and I walked.
Yeah.
I walked with the rest of my class with my diploma, and it was actually, I've told you this, I've told multiple people, and I've told his wife, Lori. I said, to that man, it's who I owe my diploma to.
Oh, yeah.
Just because he gave a crap.
Yeah.
He cared.
Oh, and we get a lot of, there's a lot of good people.
Yeah, and that's what I tried to strive to be.
Right, and from what we've talked about so far, yeah. I mean, I definitely can understand that.
Yeah, that's kind of, Donnie's a great coach. He cares just like Bill. And I tried to strive to be between Bill and Donnie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, Donnie's definitely been a good mentor to me. Last year, I've called him up and asked him something, and he answered, drew a play up and helped me out. And, this was like a Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
So, he's in the middle of his own game week. I'm in my game week.
And he's probably here at the hot seat. If it was Thursday.
He probably was.
He said, oh, hold on, I got to take this. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I appreciate everything Donnie does for me, just even though I'm not part of trail no more.
Right. Yeah, and that's something I do like about this area is if you grow up Meadowbrook or if you grow up trail, if you grow up Cambridge, you're always Meadowbrook trail. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's crazy because with Akron, they're like little career centers. They're high school students.
Essentially, right.
That's really how they're community learning centers. So like they have like specialized, like I can't remember off the top of my head, but we'll say like Kenmore is like computer engineering. So you're taking those classes, you get to go there.
Okay.
And then we'll say Bookdale has cooking. You could transfer to Bookdale if you're taking the cooking classes with no penalty. So it's kind of like free agency up there.
Oh,
so you're not committed to one school.
Gotcha.
Like you are here.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, it's just a whole nother animal. I mean, you know, anywhere you go, I mean, you go to Columbus, I'm sure there's a very similar thing going on over there.
Yeah, just going from the rural, like I said, going from rural to the cities, definitely.
Yeah, and it's something, you know, as an adult, you can move to a city, or you can move from, you know, nowhere to somewhere, and until you have those kids in the schools, you don't really notice, and you know, you're just like, oh yeah, there's a high school over there. I don't do anything with it, but it's there, you know, and you don't really get to see that side of what city life is until you either A, have a kid, or B, you know, you get to work in them like you do.
You're definitely involved with it all.
Right. And now going back to, let's ask more about your wife.
That's fine.
I'm just kidding.
No, you can ask about her. Go ahead.
No, I was, but
Kick your butt.
I'll run. We don't. This is not our studio. It's not the address on
Just
the.
remember, I said she's military, so she has.
But no, you have your 1 year anniversary coming up.
Yeah, here in July, and I'm going to try to do a little bit bigger thing. I mean, we'll probably have some promos out.
Okay.
And yeah, we're still talking about it. I mean,
we're still just spitballing on things right now.
Because I want to do something bigger than just like a $25 gift card or like a $50 like giveaway. So I mean, it's definitely. I hope it's going to be good. I mean, probably give out some packages and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, without my customers, I'm nothing.
Right. Oh yeah. Same here. I mean, that's with any business. Usually, sometimes not true, but
yeah.
Now, if you're like a YouTuber and
you're like a TikToker, what do they call them? Social media influencers.
Influencers, yeah, they can bash their audience and still get tons of views.
Like 10 million likes.
Right. They're like, oh yeah, you're so funny, whatever. But no, I get that for sure, and that's one thing we've been working on. I guess from football through basketball, we did 200 streams.
Oh, wow.
In less than 200 days. So we averaged two streams a day, and that was just off of a calculator doing set. So you don't play on Sunday. You don't usually play on Saturday. You don't play on one day a week. So to average 2 a day for an entire week is ridiculous. But we did it, and that's where after basketball season, I kind of sat down, took a big breath. Finally took a breath. I was like, whew. And
then baseball comes.
Well, then baseball is here, and it's like, we got a little bit. But when you look at it realistically, you know, anyone that wants to be at a baseball game can mostly be there. You know, grandma, grandpa out of state, those people can't. But also from the tech side, I mean, baseball and softball, realistically, those are those sports that. Not as much viewership as football, basketball, but also much harder to do.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, football, you could really get away with just one camera up top, back and forth, follow the game. Basketball, you can do the same thing, back and forth. Baseball, there's so much in between time. You know, all right, he's walking up to the plate. You can just have that camera sitting there, but it gets boring. Right. So it gets boring and that's why like I watched a lot of like MLB broad. And I'm like, you have to have 7, 8, 10 angles to keep it entertaining, because replay that 3 times, you know, zoom in on this, or the angle from the outfield, and then have, so it's just, for us it wasn't, no, we won't do it, was, here's the price. Yeah. And a lot of teams
it's still good for soccer, because soccer is pretty hard, because there's people walking on, there's ball being lobbed up and down, back and forth, they got goal to zoom in on it. I mean, that's something that would be also be great.
I mean, that definitely makes sense. I mean,
for sure.
Time and your money is.
It's just
right. And a lot of the schools weren't they didn't really want to. I mean, you know, just from a and I get it. Like, I understand that for sure. But it really did give us time to catch up. So I'm not upset about it at any point. I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, you probably spread pretty thin yourself.
Yeah, and once spring gets here, I do get into my wedding season a little more. So it's like, yeah, you're not doing as many streams, but now you have something every weekend that you're doing. Or hey, now they're on the road tour and you're going to be in Virginia this week, whatever it is. Yeah. So it really frees me up through the week a little more to catch up on this stuff. And that's what I'm
still like editing and you're doing all kinds of behind the scenes stuff that people don't see.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not really taking a breath. You're sitting in front of your computer.
Right. And that was Yeah, pretty much just that. And
Like
going
walking in, you're finishing up that video.
Yeah, and it came out good, so you guys better be on the lookout.
Definitely
May
good.
12th.
Adam, he did a great job.
You did an amazing job.
Yeah,
Great job, Adam.
Adam, he's doing some good stuff, and yeah, all those guys are. Ryan, Adam,
they're. I mean, everybody you talk to seems to be having success.
well, they're getting there, and like, or not Adam, Ryan, for example, he's playing. He just booked Drift Jam down in South Carolina.
Wow.
And that's basically, for people that don't, that's just basically Jurassic on the water. You take your boats out, big lines of, I think they had like 35,000 people last year or something like that. So he just booked that. I'm going to go down there with him and film that. But it's just, now that we've got through the meat and potatoes of the season, see what I did there? And but now we can finally get into that wedding, that event stuff that I really like to do. But just, I know I have to, if I'm going to make this school stuff work, I got to be there. Yeah. You got to be there. You got to make it work until you can find all those people to come in and fill that void and be able to go run a stream and book streams and do all this other stuff. But that's definitely been nice about spring is
Sounds like you need to get yourself a girlfriend. That's what Ryan seems to do.
something like that. Something. That I will give them credit. Ab and Ryan do a real good job wingmanning at shows. I'll be sitting there filming, and they'll be like, "Special thanks to Caleb Graham for filming this today. He's single, ladies." And I'm like, "Oh god, just keep filming. Look around, see who's waving at you." You're like, "Oh, hey."
He might just wing me in at the fair this year.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. And there, it's been very beneficial and fun to get connected with those guys for sure.
For sure. I mean, I talked to Ryan last year at the fair. No, not last year, but the year before we was there with Craig Morgan. I was on the squad, and he came over. He was just talking to us, and
Yeah.
it was definitely fun. I mean, we interact on Facebook all the time together, and
Yep. And I think that's something good about those two is they're interacting with their fans a lot. Like, they're not above anyone. They're there to make friends and make fans.
Oh,
and,
precisely. I mean, they're local, and plus, they don't forget where they came from. That's a big thing about staying humble.
That's the big thing is you never can forget where you came from, and that's what I try to do.
Right.
No matter where this goes, or
well, you can't when you're bringing ribs down here.
But I mean,
right? Yeah.
It could be we could be listening to this podcast 30 years down the road, and I got all chain restaurants.
Mm-hmm. And that's so. Actually, speaking of the podcast, which this is the podcast, but I did have, and this was kind of cool. I had someone reach out just randomly this last week, and I won't give away detail, but they were like, "I just wanted to thank you for having my child on."
Oh, wow.
I haven't talked to them in 5 years, and I got to learn a lot about them. And I was like,
wow.
I was like that's not even something you think about from this. And I was just like, that's great. I was like, you do it to like for the business aspect, or like I do it to connect with business owners and to connect with people with stories, but then you don't realize that people it's affecting, right? And it's just something we just come in here and do for an hour. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I was telling you the other day when I picked up your blankets, and I was like, yeah, I was just listening to your podcast while doing my college homework. Right,
and it's a good fit, especially if you're looking for something that's local, and it's more, it's like a talk of the town almost.
Yeah.
But a little more longer format. Mm-hmm. You get to know that's always been my stressor point is you get to know the person, not the business.
Absolutely. I mean, I took a lot from. I know I keep going to the Westfall one, but
well, there's a lot of content there.
3 hours of.
Yeah.
I listened to every second of it. And, definitely, I took a lot from what you said and what Johnny said and what was Kyle, right?
Yep.
And I took
Or Caleb. His name was Caleb, too, on his podcast.
My bad.
You're good.
My bad, Caleb.
But, he walks in.
But I definitely took a lot from that, and I put some notes and stuff, and, like, kind of compare and contrast, like, how I'm running my business and how you and Johnny were saying how you was running yours, and like I was like, man, I'm definitely on the right track then. Yeah,
and that's been a big, background idea for the whole podcast thing is, for me, it's already, it's free. I basically did, not out of pocket, it's a business thing still, but it wasn't like, okay, here's what we're gonna make off a podcast, because unless you're massive, you're not gonna make anything off a podcast.
Unless you're Mr. Beast.
Right, unless you're Mr. Beast. But the idea was, okay, I need to make something where I can get out of my comfort zone and talk to people. But I also want to make connections because I did do 200 streams through a thing, and I'm like, you haven't talked to anyone. Everyone just thinks you're this robot behind, and I'm like, you want people to know you. You want to get to know people. And like for Lakin, for example, I don't know if you watched any of hers. It was episode 11.
Yeah.
I mean, we meet like almost once a week now, and we'd never talked before the podcast. We meet once a week. We go over stuff, and we're actually building her a live stream platform for her videos that she's doing. And I'm like, that connection could make the whole podcast worth it for years.
Kind of opposite of what Lincoln does, though.
You're feeding her. Well, and she'd probably eat some ribs. She'd challenge some food. She does a lot of chicken, a lot of rice. The chicken and rice gang.
My wife does a lot of that kind of stuff. She's a lot healthier than what I do. I've been trying to diet, and
I'm somewhere in between.
I got the Iron Addicts training app, and I got a meal plan with it, and I've been doing it, and it's going.
Right.
I need to get in the gym a lot more than what I should.
And I feel you. So I used to go when I'm in town, here's the problem. When I'm in town, I go to the gym every day. When I'm out of town, I don't go to the gym, and I eat horribly and I drink horribly, and then you just feel awful. And then you come back, you're like, well, all right, let's go back to the gym.
That's what I told Heidi, because I was like, I need to get to the gym more. And I looked at her and I said, I had a weight room for 4 to 5 days a week. Watching the other kids. Why don't I just go up early or stay a little bit later? And that's what I've been doing. Mm-hmm. And it seems to help me a little bit better. Like, we got meetings tomorrow at like 10 a.m. and I'm going in at 8 to work out.
Yeah.
Get everything set up.
Yep. And that's what I've noticed is back probably last year at college or so, after high school, all the way through college almost, never touched a gym, didn't, I'd sit in my room, play Xbox, play games, do all that. Didn't do anything. And then one day I was like, all right, you got to get in shape. So I went and started working out, and after a few months, you feel great. I mean,
absolutely.
Just the mindset too.
I had a minor heart attack was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
Last year or the year before. And that's what really opened my eyes, because I was like, I'll be 28 this year, so I was like 25, and I had a minor heart attack. Like, I can't do that. My mom died young.
Right.
My dad, he's in decent shape, but he's 60, and he's still, I wouldn't call it the greatest shape. So I kind of just want to get myself into shape for my kids.
Yeah.
And, I do a lot of the fitness and weightlifting. Strength and conditioning.
Yeah, and it's good to start.
It's hard. It's hard to look at this big fat guy telling you how to lift weights and stay conditioned.
Yeah, right. I get that, and it's that's the one thing that got me really going was, the first thing was I was single, and I was like, Jim, I have time, all this, and then you realize then I had a girlfriend again, and then I was like, you can still go to the gym. I gained a lot of my weight back when me and Heidi first got together. When my mom died, I was eating out a lot, and I was drinking a lot. Just coping with your loss. Oh yeah.
Which, if you're listening, that's not a good way to do it.
No. Yeah. Well,
because my mom was 42 at the time.
Okay.
And she had some liver problems and autoimmune disorder, and it just attacked her. And watching her die is definitely not the way I want to see my kids see me die.
Right. And the coping is, different circumstances. My parent, I still have both my parents, but when me and my girlfriend broke up, earlier this year, I was like, man, this is, you just drinking and doing all this stuff.
It's all
no regard.
Even with a relationship breakup, it's still affecting the same part as
right.
You lost a part of you. You lost a part of your life.
Yeah, part of your heart's
gone. I've been through breakups myself, more than what I probably care to admit.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a similar part of the brain. And, heartbreak, and it sucks.
And it's good to have, what I learned is, it's good to have the right people around you too.
Absolutely.
To help you get through that stuff. More than and it's at the beginning it's tough because you don't want people around you. You're like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna sit here.
Yeah, you lock your doors, shut your blinds, and just sit in a dark room. And that's not a healthy way to do it.
No.
I mean,
and it's good if you are listening and you're noticing your friends aren't around as much, or he just went through this or that, or she just went, and you don't see him around as much. Go get him. That's one thing I started to learn too, is I can help others now because I get it. I'm like, obviously don't be there you'd be there every day if you want to be, but don't bug them, don't annoy them, but just let them know you're there. Let them, hey.
That's what I do. I mean, there's been times where he's ignored me. I call it ignoring, but I'll text him it'll be 3 or 4 days I haven't heard, and I'm like, bro, you good? I've done that to other friends. And it's like, man, I'm just making sure you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to
because I mean, with being in EMS, you see the bad things in life, and I mean, people's done that to me too. Like, hey, you good?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't do it intentionally.
Right.
And I mean, you're listening. Your friends don't do it intentionally either. It's one of those deals where you really don't feel like you're grieving or you're depressed. And I mean, mental health is a big thing with me nowadays. I've sort of struggled with my own mental health. And
especially I think the pandemic didn't really help that.
No,
it drove a lot of it.
Statistically, and this ain't from my personal experience. You can find this off Google. Just don't quote me for the numbers, but overdoses were up and suicides were up, and personally, I did see a lot more psych calls.
On
the squad. But I mean, obviously, I can't talk about that because you got HIPAA and stuff like that.
Right.
But these are all statistics you can find on a public record.
Yeah.
And the pandemic definitely didn't help. I mean, all these news stations were bragging how alcohol sales were up. That's not good.
Right.
I mean,
well, and a lot of them got loans
it's good for the alcohol people, but
right.
A big part of that was, I think, the isolation, because I mean, you go from one day, because for instance, I went to a hockey game February 20th of 2020, and everyone's there having a great time drinking beers, and a week later, DeWine's telling us put masks on, basically with your doors shut. It's it's just
now what do I do?
I was on my way to Gatlinburg when DeWine shut the state down.
It was just, I mean, you go from let's go get drinks, to just all of a sudden, now, well, I can't go out because I'm worried about.
Yeah.
It was crazy because me, Heidi, my wife, her friend flew down from Connecticut, and I took one of my friends from the fire department. We all got a cab in Gatlinburg for a weekend, and we stayed in Cincinnati. So we went to Longhorn, and they're like, I'm looking at my phone, it says DeWine shutting restaurants down starting tomorrow. What the hell?
Yeah.
And then I was really panicking because they shut schools down. And I was like, well, shit, what's going to happen during the day with my kids?
Yeah, because he called me down there. Gatlinburg said, is Ohio going to hell? I said, Ohio's going to hell.
I said, do I just need to stay down here? Because it sounds like Ohio's going to hell.
It was
it's basically the purge.
Essentially,
and then we left because I'll come in a Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
And I'll leave on a Monday. And that Monday, we got breakfast after leaving the cabin. And we had to wait. And I was like, what the hell? And they said that their governor took their capacity down 50%. So I was really confused because I didn't follow Tennessee's governor.
Right, and it was very quick.
Yes, it was definitely very
per
quick.
se.
You go out from, I think it was a Friday. I can't remember the exact dates, but we came in on a Friday and left on Monday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're up next to each other. Place is completely packed, and we're having a good time drinking.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really drink at the restaurants. We drink in the hot tub in the cabin.
Yeah.
Right.
And you've been down there.
Oh yeah.
That's what everybody does. And all of a sudden, it's no, you got to stay away from people, and it's sucks.
You go from 1 week, life, to the next week. You're living through the biggest pandemic since the 1920 influenza.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
it's definitely a once in a lifetime kind of thing, and it's not good. A lot of people did die from it.
Right.
It is sad, but me personally, it's just, I feel like it's being dragged a little bit harder.
Yeah, and I think when we were in basketball season at that point, and I was the day before the Meadowbrook boys were supposed to play in regionals. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, we're going down. We're going to do all this stuff. Nope, they canceled it the day before the game. It was crazy. everything just stopped instantly. Just
Well,
you
then
can't.
they can't. Like the game was after there was a game being.
There was
played
some
now.
being played. Yeah,
I
And
remember.
they just stopped the game and said, "Everybody get out."
I remember watching.
essentially.
I remember watching. It was the Thunder and Utah Jazz in that game.
Yep.
For tip off, and that was the last game
Yeah,
they ever played.
they were out. They were out for tip off. Like the refs getting ready to throw the ball up.
They pulled him over the desk and said, "Mirror."
They said,
Actually,
actually, JK guys, go home.
yeah, literally. I mean, it was quick, and then
And I mean,
that
back then,
2
no
weeks.
one really knew what coronavirus was going to be about.
Well, because back then it was like, oh, it's a 2-week pandemic quarantine, just 2 weeks, and here we are a year later, and we're still kind of just.
we were celebrating
slowly
the
back to
the
life.
1 year anniversary of the 2 weeks to slow the curve,
my
right?
God.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're at like day 400 something.
Yeah, and luckily, it's getting a little better. I mean,
definitely getting a little better. I mean, there's a lot of hope, I guess you could
right.
say.
And I think we've learned enough about it to where we're not, obviously be caught, but there's not as much fear around it as there was at the beginning. Like, what if we all
'cause I
die?
mean, You can go
Well,
cough in a
yeah,
store
'cause
and
I mean-
someone doesn't like spray you with Lysol now.
Right.
You can buy toilet paper.
Like they
every
recently
day.
learned that, like the CDC put out that it actually doesn't spread very well on surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
So like cleaning everything every 5 seconds really didn't do anything. Now we're learning like, okay, like,
I was always one that Lysol stuff though. I mean,
right.
I worked in the medical field, so
Oh, yeah, you're used to it then.
I didn't know what I was bringing home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I always clean my house up, and
Yep.
I always bring a change of clothes, and I change that way. My work clothes go in the washer. Cause I mean, my kids like to hug me, and I don't want to have someone else's blood and stuff. on
Right.
me.
Yeah. No, in that perspective, I definitely understand that.
And,
but
yeah, I guess I was always like that. Just I always stocked up on Lysol. And people look at me weird because I always stocked on toilet paper because I just go to Sam's Club, buy like the 30 pack, and they're like, you don't need that much. It's like,
oh,
kind of helped.
but
Fast forward to last year, it's like the black market. You got the toilet paper, you got the money. I mean, it's just,
I mean,
literally.
I'm on Facebook and they're selling rolls of toilet paper for $10.
Thousands of
And I was
dollars.
like, oh shit, here's
Yeah.
my next vacation.
I
funds.
remember that.
I mean, it's a bit of a funny story about a thing, but during pandemic, I think one things that hit me the most was, I mean, I already have anxiety and depression, but I mean, not having sports was just like, which is funny because it led into, I'm part of the people who started playing NCAA 14 and got a big hype thing about that, and I got invested in a fictional dynasty. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that new one.
Oh, that new game's gonna be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. That's
Yeah,
gonna be something for
especially
sure.
After looking at the revamp and stuff.
Yeah,
And they brought on a lot of those guys from the revamp team. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I didn't see
They
that.
brought like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
I mean, there wasn't that much to start with, so that's the majority of the team.
The what was the game mode where you started your college career?
Road to Glory.
You read
That's fun.
so much fun.
Oh, yeah, for
Just-
sure. Because, I mean, they had like Cambridge in there. And
Right? Yeah, and you
Make the Bobcats, make
Yeah.
Meadowbrook, make Trail.
Yeah, and you customize your high school. I used to spend.
people. I remember our friends. We would build ourselves. Like we would build our entire high school roster.
That's the only reason I keep the 360s. I have it, and I was looking through Team Builder. It's shut down now, but they had like Buckeye Trail, and they had Muskingum,
Mount
and
Union.
Mount Union. Yeah, I mean, you could play like OVAC games on this game, and it's like,
It's
I mean,
cool.
I play video games to relax.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a getaway, and I mean,
So what games are you playing now?
I still play a lot of 14, but I
Okay.
play a lot of. Right now, I've been playing the show since it went over the.
I
Xbox.
just started playing the new Resident Evil last night. It's pretty good.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I mean, I'm just your basic game. Call
Right.
of Duty and the sports games.
I used to play a lot of games. Now, about the only game I play is Rocket League.
that's
That's
good.
what Maverick plays. He plays Rocket League.
Yes, he does.
He actually took over Heidi's PlayStation.
Yeah.
He moved it to his room, and I caught him at midnight last night playing it, and I was like, "Yeah, this has got to go."
Oh, I did that as a kid. Yeah, I'd
He shut
sneak
his
out.
door and was
and-
like, "Good night," and he always plays this YouTube video like a fireplace because he's like scared of dark, but he doesn't
Oh.
like the night lights.
yeah.
So he likes the fire, and I went up to use the bathroom because I was doing college homework, like discussion posts was due at midnight, and I just checked in on him, and here's him playing Rocket League. I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like playing Rocket League.
said, "I'm
And,
trying
like
to
he was all proud of it. And,
He's on the road to champ. He's got.
I said, "What time's your bedtime?" He's like 9. I said, "What time is it now?" He's like, "What time is it?" I said, "It's almost midnight." He went, "Uh-oh." So he knew he was in the wrong.
Well,
He
I mean,
definitely- he
it goes quick. I mean,
That's good. Quick.
I remember 8th grade, man. 8th grade was like my gaming glory days.
Oh yeah,
Same.
for sure.
I mean, this is it's not bad. I shouldn't preface it like that because people are like, what'd you do? But I just remember in the summer, and why my parents let me do this, couldn't tell you. I would, I had my own room downstairs in the basement. No one could hear me upstairs. They didn't care when you went to bed in the summer, right? And so I had a 24-pack of the Mountain Dew Game Fuel. 24 packs of them. And I would sit on this couch and we would play Halo, whatever, just 5 dudes, just all night. Just you'd go to bed at about 4 a.m. and I would fall asleep in the spot under the couch. There's 7 Mountain Dew cans.
We used to do that at his dad's house.
Oh my god!
Like
I remember
there had been a big group of us,
God,
and we
yes.
all had the same system. I mean, that's how you do it. You get the same system as what your friends had.
System like I mean,
You
I
had
remember,
to.
So we would
Yeah.
have like 4 or 5 TVs in his dad's basement, set up on his pool table and hockey tables and stuff. And we'd just be pounding. I mean, as we got older, we started pounding
other things too, but I mean,
we start pounding like beers
Yeah.
and shit like that. And those were definitely the fun days.
Just no responsibilities. You just sit there. I remember playing Rage 2. I think I finished the entire game.
I mean, hell,
That's a
Heidi even
classic.
brought Maverick when he was a baby and was doing this. So I mean, he's-
sitting there playing the new Call of Duties that came out, I was like, oh, gotta get it.
you were
gotta get it.
hyped. You're just
Oh,
like, I
yeah,
gotta get my guns
your
gold.
GameStop
And,
at midnight.
yeah.
Game-
Many
GameStop
times
at
I missed
midnight.
school because of midnight releases.
I remember going to a few of those. Man, how it's changed. Waiting in line for a game.
Now you can just download it like a month ahead of time.
and then
like, the
set your
show they
time
put
to
on that
New
Game
Zealand,
Pass.
and you can get it the day before, and you're like,
Well,
"Yeah."
they're starting to do like 9 o'clock releases now at GameStop or things. It's like,
Right.
oh, jeez.
Yeah, 'cause,
Yeah.
like when they brought the show, put it on Game Pass.
That was free for us.
Yeah, I mean, I buy the Game Pass with my monthly subscription,
yeah.
and it was like the Friday before, and I downloaded it. So like midnight Monday when it released, I was like, yeah. I took the kids to school and I played it all day.
Yeah.
My alarm went off like, shit, is it already time to go get?
It's crazy how fast time can go. I mean,
The older you get, the faster the time
Oh
goes.
my god! I was sitting there at night playing NCAA 14 with my Washington Huskies dynasty, and I was sitting there 11 o'clock at night. All right, I'm gonna start the 2025 season. All right. Well, it's the off season for the first season. What time is it? It's 2:30 in the morning.
yeah.
I texted him at like 6:30 one time, and he's still up. And he's like, "What time is it? Why are you up, sir?" I was like, "Oh, I'm getting the kids ready." He's like, "Well, shit."
Oh.
He said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm trying to beat Clemson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so time definitely goes fast.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, literally, I remember just sitting there like as a kid. I'd be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go to bed and get some sleep, and I'd get maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and I'd be back up 8 a.m. doing the same thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
just over and over again.
I had like 8 hours of sleep last night, and I was like, "Yeah, noon, 1 o'clock. I need a nap."
Oh, see, I've been doing good with that. I never was a napper, and then I started taking some, and then now I'm like,
I was never a napper until I really got into sports.
yeah.
I'd be the one falling asleep in class. Doing the stuff that you tell them not to do now.
Oh, it's right. The kids now, it's such a different, I mean, we say that, but it's similar, but at the same time, it's like, it's such a different, like, gaming ecosystem
Oh yeah,
as a
'cause
whole.
We were like, I mean, you're not much
yeah.
younger than me,
Right.
and we were kind of the beginning of the gamers.
We were, like, you weren't cool if you gamed back in the day.
I mean, I had like, yeah, you weren't cool. It was
And
like,
now everyone's like, if you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
play games, you're not cool.
I mean, I remember
Like,
being
Yeah.
a kid playing my N64. My dad telling me, Justin, there's never coming a day when someone's gonna pay to play video games. Well, and guess what? You get paid to play video games now professionally.
Yeah.
Overwatch League,
Yeah,
streaming.
'cause,
not even
it's just-
professionally. If you're bad and
Yeah, I mean,
you're
yeah,
funny.
Just stream.
High
Just
school-
get- just-
high
Yeah.
schools are having esports teams now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Heidi, she's a recruiter at the Guard, and like she's sponsoring their. I don't want to get the school wrong, but I think it's East Canton.
Okay.
And don't quote me on the school. She's going to kick my ass. But I guess the Guard's sponsoring their esports team, which is crazy.
Well, and it makes sense because you'll notice a lot of like the Army and the National Guard have their own Twitch channels. because it's a really good recruiting tool.
Yeah,
Super
for
good.
sure. She
Here's what this gun does. Oh, look, I'm using this. Here's how it works.
Yeah, 'cause she
Makes
told
sense.
me about this. I was like, man, that just sounds stupid. And then I started like looking more into it. I was like, well, shit. She actually brought it up to like her master sergeant and stuff. And it's like, this is what we need to be doing. Because she's a gamer herself, and
Yeah.
and they thought it was stupid. And then I guess they must have did the research, and they just let her.
Well,
And it's
yeah.
like, yeah, let's do it.
But that's what I
Put
noticed.
her in
Yeah.
charge of it, and
That's a good idea.
yeah, she's definitely excelling well
Cool.
in her new job.
I can't count how many kids in high school join the military because of Call of Duty. Like, oh, I gotta be Call of Duty. And we have kids who are like, I hate it. It's like, well, it's not. You're not the game, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely
Right.
Call of Duty's definitely not like the military.
I'm not waiting on the day, but there's if you think about it real hard, there's gonna be a day. If not, it's probably already happened, but there's gonna be a day when our military troops are teabagging the enemy.
I mean, we're already working on.
Not really, but just think of that
Oh,
perspective.
yeah.
Like
Oh.
those are the people that
I
are.
mean, they're already building like troops that you can like put a VR headset on and like control it like a
Right.
like soldier,
Like
I mean,
robot, like
I mean,
that
hell,
point now,
those
I mean-
robots that they use for the bombs, and I mean,
drones.
you use like an Xbox controller.
Yeah, the Reaper
and-
drones are just Xbox controller. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
and that's again another good recruiting tool is you already know how to use your hand
Oh, yeah.
the hand-eye coordination, you already got it. You just need now you need to know
It's the
what
same
buttons
thing.
do
It's
what.
all this
Yeah.
is like VR is definitely a big thing, and like simulators and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that now. Like
I mean, the
know-
Air Force has had such an increase of like pilots for drones because of video
Yeah.
gamers come and join. I
Right.
mean, that's why
And-
the Air Force is a big nerdy branch now.
Yeah.
I mean,
And down the line, it's not obviously yet, but the future of warfare isn't necessarily going to be standing in front of each other shooting each other. I mean, it's already to that point where a lot of warfare is generation. There's fourth generation. There's all these generations of warfare, and then what they're saying we're headed towards is fifth generation of warfare, which is political. Hey, it's cyber. Take down grids. Take that, and it's not as much boots on the ground as it is
all true.
drones, tech. Make sure
Psychological stuff.
a lot
I
of
mean,
that.
the art of
yeah.
wars is the first. The biggest thing in art of war is art of deception is the basis of all wars. I mean, you're gonna be able to if you can just biggest thing is if you can cause misinformation in a nation of their own people, they'll tear themselves apart.
Yep, and that's part of it now, and it's like
Yeah.
eventually. I mean, at some point, all society goes through those phases, but
Oh, no.
right now, we're at that phase of society where, yeah, there's a little bit of overseas conflict, and we're always obviously going to have troops in other countries, but it's to a point where now it's like, are we going to see another just rush the Normandy, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to see that for a while, probably. I mean, obviously, I'm not a genius, but but a lot of it's going to be through the computer, through tech, through we need to take out this system.
They say like 98 or 97% of all currency is virtual.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not even paper anymore.
With the way crypto's going,
Yeah, I mean,
certainly.
I mean that's just like treasury.
right?
Because I mean, you're doing all the online banking. You swipe a piece of plastic and you just paid somebody.
Yeah. And
Like me, I Venmo you, and like
right.
we never exchanged cash. It's just one digit went to the other.
Right, and it's just it's all digital. And this is my big bet, and I'm going to put it out there in the public so that from however many months from now it is, if I'm right, I'll share this video. If I'm wrong, no one's going to hear it. We're pretty late into the podcast at this point.
I
But
hope you're right. 'Cause I want to hear it.
well, I'll fill you in. So my big bet for this year, I do a lot of stocks. So I have a lot of ETFs, a lot of safe stuff. Safe, right?
Safe man.
So, yeah, not Safe Moon. I need some Safe Moon. I've been looking at it, but so I have a little bit of crypto, not a lot at all. Like should have way more realistically because I knew about it in 2017, but I'm an idiot. So have some, okay. But stock right now, we've been in a bull market forever. Not literally, but like 15 years or something insane like that. And a lot of my investments are like ETF based. I don't do a lot of individual. So generally, as long as the market's good, we're okay. COVID hits, we're already back up to where we were before, pre-COVID. And it's crazy. And so in September of this year, P&G, Coke, everyone else, I mean, you have to look it up, but basically your big consumer brands are hiking prices on all consumer goods because stimulus money, wages have increased. You know, there is inflation. There's been a lot of inflation, especially with all the stimulus pandemic money. So with these price hikes, they're going up. The numbers aren't perfect because I don't have, but let's say 4 or 5% of whatever they were. Well, the wage increase was only 2 to 3%. So that value of that money is not the same. And once we get to that point where consumers are having to spend way more, or not way more, but it's a very like broad thing where they don't really notice, or they're going to start noticing down the line. But September is when that hits, basically. Price hikes, P&G, all your body wash, your consumer goods.
Did you put that on Facebook or something?
I didn't post a lot about it, but yes. I did. I said like crypto in September, basically.
Yeah, because I think I liked it, because, I mean, that's not a bad prediction at all.
Right. And what always happens when these prices go up of consumer goods, which it hasn't happened in a long time, but traditionally, the markets suffer really bad. Because and it's bound to happen soon anyway. There's been so much money pumped into the market this last year. It's not sustainable. Something's blowing. It's either the market, crypto. Yeah, and that's what I tell my friend. One of my friends is real big into crypto. We talk a lot. I tell him, I said, you gotta be careful because someone has to lose money eventually. You know, it's not everyone can't be millionaires. Yeah, it's not how it works. So where's that money being lost? And right now you're seeing with crypto and the stock market, they're both real high. I don't think crypto's going away for a while, or probably ever, but it'll dip. It'll dip here and there. But the big move I'm going to attempt, and we'll see how it plays out for me, is I'm taking all my stock, which isn't massive, but a couple thousand, $5,000-$6,000, all my stock investments, all out of stocks, August. That's August. Yeah, I'm going to take them all out in August, whatever I'm at. Hopefully 10% up, if the stock market's still doing okay at that point. But I think in September, that market is crashing. Not 2008 crashing, but it's going to crash. And I don't know how long it's going to take to recover. It's not going to recover like COVID did. Because COVID was crash. We don't know what's happening. Oh, we're learning about it. Okay, never mind, we're fine.
It crashed for about, 3 or 4 months?
Yeah. And so this time, I don't know if it's going to recover as quick. So typically when our markets crash, crypto does really well because everyone says, oh, well, I don't want to invest in our stock market and I need to keep my investments somewhere. And now a lot of institutions are in on crypto, like Visa, PayPal, they're doing all their trading.
Cash App has it too.
Yeah. And so these institutions have investments. Well, they're not going to just say, yeah, let's keep doing this stock thing, because now there's another option.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to be pumping money into crypto. And this is all hypothetical bet. We'll see. But September 8th, I think, is like when the hikes go into place. But it'll take a few months after that. But by September, my goal is to move all my assets in my investments into crypto investments. Because I think in September and even that next month, you're going to see a bigger spike than we already saw. I don't think it's going to be percentage-wise as big. That's going to be really hard to top.
Yeah.
But
especially if like you're in Doge or something like that.
Right. It's going to be really hard to top that.
I mean, heck.
It's probably at 80 cents as we speak. Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, it's definitely. I don't know.
But yeah, the roundabout way of that situation.
Down to 68 in a little bit of time.
And see, I was guessing probably 75 cents.
But now it's that weird time of the day though.
Yep.
Where China's asleep and most of America's starting to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. This is about the time it starts making that little bit of a 10, 15 cent decrease.
Yeah. And obviously we're not experts here, but
no, I'm not no financial expert whatsoever.
If I was an expert, I'd be a millionaire because I would have kept my crypto. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, that's just how I look at. I mean, I notice the patterns. If you look like a 24-hour pattern, I mean, that's kind of how it is. The time frames, it makes sense. That's where, like I said.
Yeah. Yep. So, TLDR of that story. Stocks are going to crash. September, this is my bet. Buy crypto, because when stocks crash, crypto does good typically. Diversify, don't make it all one thing.
We'll call it by fair time.
Fair time, yeah.
It's not September, it's fair time around here.
Right, yeah, fair time. Halfway through football season. But yeah, so we'll see if I'm real happy at the games or if I'm real happy at the fair. You might know why. If I'm not, if you don't see me,
you'll be happy at the fair.
Oh yeah, you can't. I'll be working. Actually for the fair, quick plug. Just a Kid from Ohio Fest. I don't know if you've heard about that yet.
Yeah.
But we're doing a new festival at the fair, so it's not just an act anymore at the fair for a night. It's a festival, and so we're gonna have alcohol now.
Oh, sweet.
Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're headed with that. I don't think it's confirmed. Don't know if I'm allowed to even say that, but probably gonna have some alcohol. So if we're turned off by the fair because I'm just gonna stand there. Now you have a reason to come. Now you bring the friends, bring the family. It's going to be a festival. There's going to be multiple acts. It's going to be a fun event, and we're going to be filming a lot of it. So
I mean, the fair always has good fire game
right
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely be at the fair during the days for the most part because I got football in the evenings. But I'll be helping out Old Washington during the fair.
Okay. And I don't know if we're going to be streaming the fair again. I know. Obviously it's not going to be the same situation. People are going to be allowed to be there.
I like watching the shows and stuff.
But I had a lot of good feedback on that.
That was definitely, I guess that's definitely like a 2020 thing, but
right.
It was definitely something I would like to see back personally.
Well, and I had like grandparents out of state. They were like, or not even out of state, grandparents here, they would say, I could only go watch one of my kids at once. She's like, I have 3 or 4 kids showing at the same time. She's like, now I can either sit at one or I can sit at my house and watch all of them at once.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
Because you got, especially it's like you're on one side of the fairgrounds, you got to go to the other.
Yeah.
Like you got a kid at home of the champions and down by the, I also call it the 4-H barn on the other side of the fairground.
Right.
That's a pretty good hike.
Yeah. And
if you got to go to the sheep barn, going up and down that hill next to the Grand Hall Champion, I've done that before.
Oh, I did it a few times, running to stream.
It definitely. You can get your workout in.
Yeah.
Definitely need some barbecue after that.
Oh, we'll have some hopefully. Ryan, but no. The other part of that was people or the schools, like trail, the ag teachers and everything. They said we could watch our kid, because they have to teach. They're like, we could actually watch our kids doing what we taught them to do.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a good improvement because now those teachers don't. Because I mean, I had Miss Barker in ag, Jenny Barker. I mean, she's well known around the area in that situation, and she would take off the fair week.
Yeah,
that was like her Super Bowl.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of ag teachers did that, but now with the capabilities watching your live stream, they might not have to do that.
Right. Or even if they're not if they're not ag, but they, they still want to know the kids.
I mean, we got teachers. I mean, we're, like I said, we're a rural area.
And so most of them understand the idea. Right.
So, like, now instead of them taking time off to take the fair, they can just watch it on, like, their computer.
Right.
Their smartphones, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that was one of the more fun things we did this year, and I got to learn a lot about animals because I never showed animals. I was like, now why is this happening? What is it? And learned a lot about it for sure.
For sure. I mean, I don't know. I think the most favorite broadcast you did was definitely Ross Love when that.
Oh, the donut challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, so he. The donut challenge picked up a lot of steam pretty quickly. I mean,
oh yeah, like I'm friends with Ross on Facebook, and like it's like, yeah, me and Kennedy's and Bobby want to do this, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we got like 40 some competitors. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how many. I was just throwing a number.
It was probably close to 40.
Like, yeah, Caleb Graham's going to live broadcast it, and people were sponsoring people. I was like, it was definitely a great thing what he did for the area.
Well, and originally they asked AVC to come do it, and they said, no, there's too many people, and we can't be around. I'm like, I'll do it. I was like, that's awesome. You know what?
Like, fuck 'em.
I'm like, why would you not do this?
Right.
I'm like,
You're
wear 5
the news
masks.
channel of the area, and you're going to do it? I mean, hold on.
I'm like, I'll be there. I can do it. And, well, they said it wasn't enough heads up. And I'm like, what else are you doing? It's the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
I'm like, there's nothing else to do.
It was like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing on a Wednesday morning?
Yep, and that's what I called him. I was like, I think it was like literally the day or two before I was like, because at first I was like, I don't know if I can even do it, and then saw a lot of interest in it, and I was like, they're still not doing it. Like, yeah, we'll come do it, and
did they end up bringing like the radio out or something? Or?
Nothing. Nope. And we're gonna make it an annual thing. We'd like to make it maybe for summer, since that was more of a winter, we might do like an annual wing challenge too, and then do 2 of those.
Wings.
Yeah. So we're looking at that, where we might even do it like around here, make it like a production like this. So we don't have to, because it looked kind of cool, the video, but it was funny because I was just I just plugged my camera in like with an HDMI, just walking around, like it was just my laptop sitting on it's just a very like, and that's the thing I think we do well is, I hate saying that, but the thing we do well is we don't use too much equipment. Like, it's same thing with you with having simple ingredients, simple meals.
Yeah.
We keep it simple, and that allows us to do a lot more.
And make sure
and your overhead's way down
doesn't
too.
Doesn't mean it's poor quality.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
When you keep stuff simple, it raises your quality,
Mm-hmm.
and it brings more satisfaction to like your fans, your
Right.
people, my customers. I mean, they're probably your customers too, but just
Probably, yeah.
for the area.
Oh, it's quality over quality, 100%.
Yeah, because like that's something I strive in with the barbecue. It's like, yeah, I can go cook for thousands of people, but like if someone just wants 4 porks, that's fine.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I really liked about the ribs when you did do them. I was like, I wonder if I have to order a lot. I was like, I'll just take 1 rack. Okay, we'll have
Okay,
them too.
I'll be there
Yeah.
like 3.
Right, and I was like, perfect. And that's like what we can get away with versus like competitors and stuff. When they go do streams, it's not streamlined at all. It's, well, we need this and this and this and that. I'm like, we could do we could do a broadcast from like our sports broadcast, for example. I've made it so simple it fits into a little box, computer, audio box, camera output, camera, headsets. Like, that's all it is, and it's very simple. Whereas other places, they might do camera, or they'll have like this weird camera rig, and then they'll have their computer, but then they have to run it into an adapter, and it goes. I'm like, if you can't make it 3 plugins and go, it's too difficult. Like, you'll never scale it. Like, yeah, I could probably go and stream a game, but then what if we have 5 games a night? I'm like, sometimes you have to teach people that week how to use the equipment, because
I mean,
you're finding people all the time.
You see, like, I hate to pick on AVC because you just did it.
We do that a lot on this podcast.
I noticed that one too, but like, there's a lot of equipment just for the radio, like hanging antennas and stuff.
Well, they'll bring vans of stuff,
and it's just like,
For
I don't
events,
understand why you
it.
need that much stuff.
Well, and if we don't want to pick on AVC, for example, Big Time Sports.
Yep.
Now I'm going to start a war with them. I've never said a bad word about them. Not a bad thing, but the difference between Big Time Sports and us, they streamed the Malvern game, Malvern Shenandoah, when they were in the regional or whatever it was. We did too. Well, I get there, and they've been setting up since like 3 p.m., and I get there probably an hour before the game. I bring my laptop, camera, and I'm ready to go before they are. And they have wires ran to every camera. We had a sideline camera at that game, but it was wireless. It's like, why would I run wires to everything? And then they had their main computer, and then their audio guys were sitting all the way down. They weren't even around the equipment, so their audio guys were somewhere else. Then it was running audio, and then all these wires that were ran here were ran to a van. And so it was all produced through a van. Like, I'm like, think how much overhead cost there is there.
Yeah, really, for
that you
an
don't
event
need.
like that. I mean,
and
it's
it
like,
didn't look as good. Seriously, because their cameras were so old. Because they still have that legacy equipment. Like, the monitor that the girl had to watch the game on was black and white. And I'm like, so I can have a better product, cheaper, and they can charge less than this that is much bigger than that. I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Like, I forget what it was. I was watching the Trail Tusky Central game.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just, I'm not trying to dog on it, but that just, it was like watching ESPN Classic there for a little bit.
Yeah. That's the one thing, and I think that's with any business, unless you have the right people in charge, is, for example, it could happen with us. We're pretty new, but maybe 10 years down the line, if I choose not to grow, which I won't, but if I choose to stay, we're stationed, like, we're making our money, I'm content, maybe we'll still be using the same equipment. Maybe they did buy that equipment new, or Big Time did buy it new, and it was top of the line at the time. But at some point you either upgrade or you get it, or someone else comes in and does it. Right.
You just gotta, when owning a business, you just gotta keep looking at ways to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Like just from last year at this time to this year, like I have a couple electric smokers I use as like warmers, and I also have a Masterbuilt Gravity Series, which is like a similar to pellet, but it uses charcoal, and
Okay.
I mean it's a lot better than a pellet.
Yeah.
And I mean that's all I cook on. And now it's just like it's crazy. A year later, I'm like, yeah, I definitely need. I've been pricing out like commercial smokers and like stuff like Respecs has outside, and just crazy how in a year how much I'm looking to improve myself already.
Right. And that's the only thing as a business owner you can do is look at what's next. How do I improve? Not necessarily, but if you're going to continue growing and making those changes, you know, every year it could be. We've basically done something different every year. You know, last year we didn't do live streams. This year we did essentially only live streams. The year before that we were just all photo. Then the year before or the year after the photo year we were just doing highlights and photo. And
You were just doing like a couple live streams,
right, it just
a couple years ago.
Practice basically. I was like, I know how to do it. Yeah.
Working what 5 different schools?
Yeah, at least.
Just thinking
I
off
don't-
my head for
yeah.
football. It's just
Well, basketball, and see, we're picking. Yeah, basketball. We did Trail, Malvern, Meadowbrook, River. We did do a River game for basketball. Caldwell, Fort Fry, Morgan. I mean, at least 7, and I'm probably forgetting Shenandoah. Yeah, so 8. I mean,
yeah.
and it's
on top
yeah.
of the head. I could think of River, Malvern, Shenandoah, Trail, Meadowbrook for football. Just
Yeah.
on top of my head.
Yep, and we had honestly, I had a lot of fun. The River has a really nice facility.
I've seen like obviously I like watching your broadcasts, and it's definitely changed from when I was in high school.
Yeah,
It's
well,
definitely changed a lot.
and that's what I'm trying to sell the schools on too. Is I'm like, or not even the schools, just like in general. I'm like, I wish I had video of myself playing. You know, like full games and anything at all.
just, like,
Really,
we use Huddle.
Yeah.
For our, like that's what our players use. That's how we communicate, and we put like our film up. I wish I had that stuff when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Like it was just developing, and it was too far expensive, and now that you got Huddle Sideline.
yeah,
And I mean, I think we're getting it this year. I can't remember. But it's cool where you could be from up top and you could send the clips down to your sideline.
yep.
And it kind of feels like that college NFL stuff.
It's getting there for sure. I mean,
It's definitely neat how the technology's evolved so much.
yeah, it's only going to keep getting crazier and crazier.
Oh, yeah.
and,
I mean, look, we're flying a helicopter on Mars, dude.
yeah, I mean that's wild. Actually, that is really
like,
insane.
Someone's playing with a little Xbox controller here on Earth and making a helicopter fly on Mars. I mean, I don't know how much you are. I like space.
Oh yeah.
I like watching space.
No, I'm not too into it, but I keep up with.
I woke up at
I can watch the rocket flight
it
tomorrow
was like
night.
5:30 in the morning. I just couldn't.
I remember the SpaceX.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was
big.
That was amazing to watch. That was just.
I just watched the recent launch a couple weeks ago, like 5:30 in the
We
morning.
got the one tomorrow night too, don't we?
And like I don't know if you seen on Facebook because I put it on Facebook, but like I took like screenshots of like the rocket like collapsing.
Oh
and
no, I
stuff,
didn't see
and, like
that.
they had like it was like orbital, like you could see the orb of the Earth. It was fascinating. And I guess maybe I'm a nerd. I don't know.
No, yeah,
Oh, not even all.
no, nerds are cool. It's changed.
Yeah.
used to not be. Now you're like, yeah, I'm a nerd.
Nowadays the nerds get
Yeah.
paid and the jock guys don't get paid at all.
Yeah, yeah, they're working.
Jocks still get paid.
Well,
I've seen the NFL.
I know. I'm just saying.
I've seen what Pat Mahomes got.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, I get that, and yeah, no, I used to keep up a lot more with the space stuff than I do now. But I do remember that.
Elon's definitely going different ways with that.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. But like,
yeah.
I think I seen yesterday they tested a rocket
and it
was
landed.
able- yeah.
Yep, landed
Yeah.
just fine. I did see that.
That was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. Well, any other final closing thoughts before we let you plug everything once again?
I don't know. You got anything?
I mean, I've got 3 sauces right here in front of me that everyone should buy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely check out the BigFitzBBQ.com. I'm going to put a promo code for KGP.
Yeah.
And you can get 10% off for $20 or more.
We'll just do promo code KGP.
Yep, that's all we're going to do.
Cool. So if you go and order now, you can get 10% off. If you put KGP in your promo code slot.
$20 or more.
$20 or more. 10%
Which is
off.
like 3 things.
Yeah, or 2 really good ribs, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't sell the meats online. But
Okay, well, get some sauces, and then I'll eat them with you if you bring them to the studio. How about that? So, yeah, promo code KGP, get 10% off, 20 or more, and that's at bigfitsbbq.com.
Yep.
And you guys on Facebook, everywhere, pretty much?
Pretty much. It's Big Fitz BBQ everywhere.
Okay.
I mean,
And Twitter,
Instagram,
Facebook.
Twitter. I really don't keep up with my Twitter as much as I should.
Yeah,
That's why-
I don't.
that's why I got
I'm not a
Justin.
Twitter guy.
That's why I got Justin here. He's more
Yeah.
of a Twitter person.
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm starting to pick up a little bit more steam with.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely check us out because we're doing like I guess what you call what Westfall started doing the monthly giveaways.
The giveaways, yeah.
And this month it's going to be a 3-person tent with 2 lanterns.
Okay, that's nice.
So you get a entry for like, share, and commenting.
Okay, so go and find that post, like, share, and comment that. You can win a tent with lanterns, more than just a bottle, more than just a water bottle. I mean, you can't beat that. It's nice. It's something you can actually use, which is good because usually I just give away dumb stuff like my T-shirts.
Nothing wrong
But people
with that.
people like them. I don't know, they like them.
I like your T-shirts.
But no, definitely check them out. Use that promo code, and we'll see you in episode 19. This was 18, I think, and
That's what we're going with.
that's what we're going with. If not, I'm just going to make 5 episodes up that are nothing. but yeah, so we'll see you guys and girls if you're watching. Now get out of here.